Right, hi everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the rice regime, and I've happened to have hurt my ankle last night twisting it. I'll be going for x-rays a little bit later just to check the damage of it. I don't suspect any broken bones, but the rice regime stands for rest, ice, compression and elevation. And as you see, when I tell you the ice, I need to take the bandage off, but you must roll it up so that when you put it back on just now, when you finished icing it, it is not going to be all frummeled up and take forever to ice. So as you can see, it's starting to go blue and it's still a little bit swollen, and the toes are starting to swell up and stuff like that, because you've got to keep the ankle up. You want to try and get the swelling as minimal as possible. So there's the swelling. When you put an ice pack on, don't put the ice directly on your skin, but you want to wet the dishcloth that you have. Then you put the ice pack in the dishcloth with the wet side going to go up against the skin. So this is the wet side here. So it's going to go out on the outside of my ankle. And what you're going to do is you're going to have it on the leg for about 10 minutes, not too long, much longer than that. And you want your leg to be elevated up. So I've got mine on a bunch of pillows. You want the leg elevated up, ice on the outside of the leg. You've wet the cloth, because you want the coldness of the ice to come directly through onto the ankle to cause compression of the blood vessels so that the swelling can reduce. But you don't want it directly on the skin, because otherwise it can actually burn the skin. So you will elevate the leg, put the ice on, 10 minutes for the ice, and you can ice it regularly throughout the day. If it's very badly swollen, you can ice it every 2 hours for 10 minutes, otherwise about 3 times a day. And you lift the leg up. And then when you're walking around, you must use your crutches. There, my crutches are next to the bed, because you don't want to put weight on the leg. You want it to heal. And you'll probably do this for about 3 to 4 days, the icing, depending on how badly your leg is swollen. So the rest is the leg up. Ice, the rice, the I is for the ice, and compression is the bandage, and elevation is for the leg up, so that the blood in your foot can drain up towards the heart. If your foot is going to be hanging down for long periods of time, the toes will swell significantly, and then your foot will become more painful, so we don't want that. You can also take anti-inflammatories to help for the inflammation and the pain if you've got a lot of pain. Luckily, I've got a very high pain threshold, so I don't really have any pain in my ankle, but you can see the foot is slightly swollen, but it's not too bad, because I iced it. When I did it, I iced it instantly last night. So I twisted it last night, I iced it instantly. When I got home after attending the function, I put it in a moon boot for compression and to immobilize it. And then it was bedtime, so I went to bed. But I iced it for a good a while initially afterwards, so the swelling is very minimal. And that's how you treat a acute injury. Treating a muscle spasm is totally different to this. You'd rather use heat. But this is what you're going to do. Good luck with your injuries.